So we'll call this special meeting of the Board of School Trustees order. If you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
He always does.
It's that time on the agenda. He needs his back. So,
Okay, statements, questions from the public. So I'll remind everybody that this is something that's always been part of this school board is we allow a maximum of 2 minutes per person to speak, a total of 20 minutes for this subject. First person on here is Chris Webb.
1986, the movie Hoosiers made its debut and captured the hearts of people everywhere. It's one of my favorite movies. First time I watched the movie, a particular scene escaped my attention, but it resonates with me today. Myra Fleener, Coach Norman Dale's colleague, prepares to present material that will surely sway the townspeople to fire Coach Dale. As she approaches the podium, she struggles with her decision. Instead, she takes stock in the relationships that Coach Norman Dale, has built with his players. She notices his dedication to the students, and she takes stock in what is at stake. As she opens her paper, she utters these words: "It would be a mistake to let Coach Dale go." If my 21 and a half years has earned me any credibility at all, I earnestly ask that you take stock in what is taking place here this evening. Look at the people here, teachers, community members, students, and former students. I plead with you that the faces you peer into this evening and the words that you hear on behalf of Ashley Hammond, Fountain Central Principal, will cause you to contemplate carefully your decision. You are Myra Fleener. Each one of you individually will be casting a vote that will have a lasting impact on our school. Please take special note of what is said this evening. I believe, personally, it'd be a mistake to let Mrs. Hammond go.
Okay, I want to remind everybody there cannot be names used in these statements.
I apologize. The following is 3 emails that I received from individuals who could not be here this evening. I'm going to provide each one of you a copy in order to stay within the 2 minutes. Thank you.
Next up is Dave Kite.
Scott, just for clarity, can I refer to her as the principal?
Yeah, as long as there's not names used, yes.
Sure, okay. If you don't know, I'm David Kite. I've been an educator for, this is my 22nd year, all 22 of them here at Fountain Central. I have the privilege of teaching some of your children, some of your grandchildren, and in some cases both. One thing I've never done in my 22 years here is attend a school board meeting, until tonight. I've never attended a meeting before because I've never felt that my input or opinion was needed for the board to make the right decisions for Southeast Fountain Schools. For the most part, over the past 22 years, I think that has been correct until tonight. Education is under fire from many different groups, and it's perhaps the most difficult time to be an educator in many years. We have politicians in Indianapolis with little to no expertise in education making decisions that affect our jobs and the lives of our students. Those lawmakers choose not to seek out or listen to advice from the experts in this field, the educators, and that continues to be more and more frustrating. As teachers here, we see our students each and every day, and I believe that makes us most qualified to assess the climate and culture of our building. The morale at many schools is an all-time low, however, not at Fountain Central. I have seen our staff and school morale continue to be overly positive and grow these past 4 years. And why? Because our principal. Since she became principal, our building has been a much better place to teach, and most importantly, a much better place for our students to learn. I have worked under 6 principals in my time at FC and can unequivocally say that our current principal is our best leader. Why? Because she gets it. She understands the passion that all of us have to provide the best education possible for our students and to meet their needs in any way we can. To teachers and staff, she is a mentor, a friend, and most importantly, our leader. To our students, she is an advocate, someone who will go above and beyond for them to make them as successful as possible. She's not afraid to make difficult decisions and makes all decisions based on what is best for our students. She's the type of administrator and principal that you love to work for and work with. So why am I here tonight? I ask you don't make the same mistakes that our politicians and lawmakers consistently do. I ask that you truly listen to what is being said and will be said tonight. I ask you to understand what people are asking for and ask to handle is best for our students. Thank you. Sorry about the name of the intro.
Next up, Jake Wolf.
Good evening. My name is Jake Wolf. I've been a teacher for 10 years, with the last 7 being within the Southeast Fountain School District. One of the many things I've learned since becoming an educator, completing my administration degree, and being a parent is that there's always work that goes unnoticed behind the scenes in order to make an effective system run properly. I've had 5 different principals as leaders of a school where I was teaching. Many were certified, but my current one, for example, is truly qualified to lead our school. I've had many leadership opportunities over the years, many of which she has selflessly provided insight, advice, and great mentorship. The best example I can share is when completing my administrative internship, I had the privilege to work alongside her and her assistant principal at the time. They were willing to afford me the best professional development and insight I have yet to receive. They taught me how to be patient, compassionate, humble, strong, gracious, and most importantly, compassionate. She understands her why for what she does. She understands the effect she has on her colleagues and students. The students are happy to be here because they are cared for by staff members who are eager to teach and be the experts we are day in and day out. How she treats students, teachers, and community members, the way she falls back on students' needs first, how she makes the culture of our school fun and empowering, these are not normal for many places. The media shows struggles many districts and schools face today. Many of those issues evade us because of the people we have here, not programs. I can vividly remember my experience here at FCHS with the prior administration, and we have improved immensely due in part to the board's decision to afford her with that opportunity, as well as the attitude, work ethic, and examples of her day in and day out. Lastly, everyone wants to be respected within their profession. Everyone wants to do a great job. The last thing a professional wants is for the competency of a job or the effectiveness of leadership skills to be determined by a couple of perspectives without direct firsthand experience. Based on my firsthand experiences, she is a quality professional who takes her career seriously with the utmost regards to her constituents. We are fortunate to have her as an asset to the school and community, and unless it can be guaranteed to find someone more qualified, why alter something that's not broken? Thank you.
Next up, Susie Baldwin.
I'm Susie Baldwin. I teach English here and run a few other things. I've been here 3.5 years, and I came from another type of government entity. I was a public librarian or library director for like 18 years before I came. And having had bosses that did not respect me or appreciate my crazy personality, it's been a real blessing to be here, and it would just be a horrible misfortune if we lost that.
Thank you. Carson Everland.
I'm speaking on behalf of former students and students currently. Mrs. Hammond, our principal was more than a principal. I have learned in my educational psychology class this semester at Purdue that being a leader is more than just taking charge and telling people what to do. A leader has to have empathy for the ones that they're leading, and be able to listen and understand their point of view. When learning about this in class, our principal immediately popped into my head. There was a time my senior year where she called me into her office because she could tell I was not acting like my normal self. And I was not actually acting like my normal self. Something was wrong. It's the little things like that stand out to me. She genuinely cares and wants the best for each and every one of her students. She attended extracurricular activities while living inconveniently distant to the school. She tried to engage and interact with the students at lunch almost every day. She genuinely cares about her students. By the amount of staff here tonight, I think the same can be said about the staff. Thank you.
Gary Payton.
This won't take long. I'm mad because you suspended my daughter. You know, if you can't take the heat, what are you doing here? You suspended my daughter because she supports her principal. Okay? How many bosses would like to have something like that? And as I look, it looks like our principal has quite a bit of support. But instead, our school board, which I don't see, excuse me, I know 4 of you, and I don't see an educator amongst 1 of you. And I don't see anybody that's been in the classroom for any certain amount of time. But here you're gonna, as I understand it, overrule our superintendent and say, we want this person out. Well, I got an idea. Why don't we terminate the superintendent as well? Because you people know more than anybody else on how to run this school, and then we can get rid of assistant principals too. I don't understand this. And when I ran for school board, Gary Pate's going to First thing he does when he gets on the school board is gonna fire Larry Adams. First day I got elected, I found out and I went over there and told Larry Adams, that's not my job. I'm not here to fire you. And he served out his time and I never ever once brought up firing him. It wasn't my job. That's all I got. See y'all later. Hey, y'all have a good day.
Amber Pickett.
I just wanted to give an example of how she supported the students. So like specifically in our case, one time when my child got a concussion at an athletic event, she was there. She came down, she spoke to us. She called us all weekend to check on my child. In 2020, when my child was very ill and in the hospital and had 3 surgeries, she was in constant contact with me the whole time, all through his care. When he came out of the hospital finally, and she knew that he had to go every day to get infusion treatments. And that it was gonna be an hour drive both ways, 7 days a week for us. Her and the assistant principal at the time got on a conference call with me and let me know that they would help me figure out if we needed to, how to get my son back and forth to Lafayette to get his infusion and treatments because he had to have it. She's been very supportive through everything that my family had to go through. And I will tell you, 2020 was a very bad year for my husband and my child, medically, and had nothing to do with the stupid COVID. Just gonna say, there are other things out there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you guys to know that she reaches out to the parents directly. She cares about the kids. She stepped up and offered to help us get the help that we needed to make sure that he could get what he needed. And that to me says more about a person than anything else.
Lucy Johnson.
Hi, my name is Lucy Johnson. I taught multiple grades in English at the high school, and this is my 5th year. I've been teaching for 16 years. First of all, to address students, her encouragement of students. She encourages all of our students to do their best in Tehama High. You can see her in the junior high hallway as well as all the high school hallways, as much as she possibly can outside her office. She has done her best to make sure that our students can be successful in school, as well as have their basic needs met. She has worked tirelessly for students to have assistance with heat and food for their families. She's also worked hard each school year to give our students as many course offerings as she can to give our students the best possible education. For myself, I came to Fountain Central to work for a more positive administrative team. Mrs. Hammond has my principal has created a supportive, encouraging, and family atmosphere for our staff. She has strengthened me as an educator, and that has pushed me to teach more grades than I had ever thought possible. She always asks if I need anything and what she can do to help me. I am truly grateful for all that my principal has done for me, for our staff, our students, and all of FC. Thank you.
Last one's Brian Turner.
This will be pretty short and simple. I've been here for 14 years, and I've never felt more supported in the time that our principal has been in charge of us. She supports us. She tries to make my program better. She's very concerned about the students that I get. She's concerned about me. And that hasn't always been the case. We've had some pretty bad years. And the last ones have been great.
Mr. Minnick, is my name not on there?
Your name is not on here, unless I missed it. Oh, yep, whoop, I missed it, you're right. Sandy Cashmere.
I thought I said the right thing.
Yep, you did, I missed it.
I will make this short and sweet. I've been here 38 and a half years and enjoyed every year of teaching here, but they have not always been the best because of our leadership. And this individual we currently have is by far the best principal I've ever had. I say that without reservation. I've had some good ones. She is by far the best that I've had. She's often said to me, as Lucy said, let me know if you need anything. She means it. If she can get it for me or in any way, shape, or form, that woman does what she can to give us the resources that we need in our classrooms. She cares about our kids. She cares about their families. She cares about us. She cares about the faculty and staff. She works tirelessly. The time this woman puts in is just beyond comprehension for me. And I plead with you to very carefully consider and where this might lead us if we lose her. Thank you.
Thank you guys for speaking up. Adoption of agenda. It is recommended that the agenda of the January 24th, 2022 special public meeting of the Board of School Trustees be approved as presented.
Motion.
Josh, and who was second?
Crystal motion, Josh second.
Crystal motion, Josh second. All in favor?
Aye.
Administrative recommendations. It is recommended that the superintendent be directed to issue a written preliminary notice to an administrator who is being considered for non-renewal.
Indiana Code 20-28-8-4 requires at least 30 days before giving written notice of refusal to renew a contract under Section 3. The governing body or an employee at the direction of the governing body shall inform the assistant superintendent, the principal, or the assistant principal by written preliminary notice that the governing board is considering a decision not to renew the contract and provides the employee with the process for requesting a private conference with the superintendent and the governing body. The preliminary notice must include the governing body's reasons for considering a decision not to renew.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second motion?
Second.
All in favor? Statements and concerns of the board?
Actually, I would love to see this many at our school board meeting. You know, normally we only have a couple, so you might consider coming again.
Is it too late to say anything, public representative?
Yep. Sorry.
Wasn't planning on it, but
That's all we have, then motion for adjournment?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? I have 6:18. All right, thanks everybody for coming.